Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect. And the one-third remnant out there listening and doing this word with all faith and sincerity scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth to you. I say shalom, Lord willing, this video is edifying. It's going to be sitting around this article that you see. And, very critical times in which we in. A lot is happening. The Lord is really, if you got eyes to see, you can see the Lord's Spirit moving on the earth, and these prophecies are getting ready to come to pass, man. It's still January, and we got, an undeclared civil war already. Okay, because if a state is going against federal guidelines, then off rip, that's a civil war. They're acting in in their sovereignty. So that's a tongue twister for me, but they're going directly against the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is supposed to be the highest court in all the land, but not according to these 25 states, apparently, right? And that is in itself sedition, right? That is in itself, the makings of a civil war, right? It's just not, it's not live yet. But it's getting there. The lines are being drawn. Who's going to be against who, is already being determined. Okay, and really this is going to be on a whole nother level. Trying to build it like, is this state versus this state? And it will be maybe on a certain level. But really it's going to be every man for himself, man. Even within these states, there's going to be absolute chaos going down. Right. This is a article by BBC.com, and it's entitled 25 Republican Governors Back Texas and Escalating Border Standoff with the U.S. Government. And, this has been in the news a lot recently. Texas deciding to close their border regardless of what the federal government is declaring. Right. They've decided, hey, we ain't letting no more illegals through here, because it's doing nothing but bringing security risks to, not only the nation, but whatever area is, is happening in. Because, we know who's responsible, who they get to bring these illegals up. They bring cartel members. Nothing but cartels and these different global organizations that's supposed to be tasked with humanitarian aid. And we know that's all bullshit, because the people who sit at the top are the polar opposite of humanitarians. This is to destabilize America, and it's doing a great job. Okay, it's showing that the vision. Republican governors on the half of the U.S. have backed, and half of the U.S. have backed Texas in intensifying standoff with the federal government over illegal immigration. The Supreme Court ruled this week against Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who has strung razor wire along miles of the frontier with Mexico, but the Republican has vowed to add more razor wire to crack down on what he calls an invasion. And it really is. It really is. When you look at it, because these people come in here and they're getting all type of, amenities, right? They come in here and they're really getting paid to come here. They're being incentivized. And a lot of them are being lied to, especially Jake. Jake that's found his way in the middle of this. You know, and Jake has been doing this for years, but now it's at a whole, now it's at a pace that's never been seen before. And really, these other nations are using this as a guise to get their troops in. Okay, get in their sleeper cells and agents, even though Jake is going to be the face of this border invasion. Really, those gooks, right? And them towel heads are creeping in, amongst them, man. Amongst Jake, who's sincerely coming up here for a better life. You got the enemies of America who are who've crept in among them, right? And they're already here. They're gonna wreak havoc on this place when that time comes. Okay, an invading army is already here in America. We just waiting until the day they get that that sleeper cell activation code, and it's on and popping. A record 300,000 plus migrants crossed the border in December alone, and they saying 6 million in 3 years, and that's crazy. Because most places in America, especially major cities, already have a homeless epidemic, but they closing schools to house these people, man. They giving these people free hotels, but yet it's homeless veterans out on the streets. They can't get no help. It shows you there's an agenda here, man. There's a method to this madness, right? Because the elites, of this world, they know what this is pushing and this is driving. They want that order out of chaos. They want it to be chaotic. Okay, they want people to rise up so then they can come with their invading army and reestablish order through our artificial authoritarianist view, pretty much, man. A new government, one of extreme law, right? One that's oppressive in nature, and this government is already such, but they don't want you to have any liberties or freedoms. Okay, they want to have a chip in you, and this is gonna usher it in, man. On Thursday, 25 Republican governors released a joint statement of solidarity with Mr. Abbott for stepping up to protect American citizens from historic levels of illegal immigration, immigrants, deadly drugs like fentanyl, and terrorists entering our country. And they've even agreed to send their own National Guard troops to help against the federal government, right? Which is unheard of, right? But the prophets of Yahweh Shemel Shah have been telling you that this was coming, man. We've been telling you that these things were on the way and they're closer than you think, and now you're starting to see it. Okay, it's about to get a whole lot more tougher here in America. Okay. If it's any other points, because I'm pretty sure, most bros know about this. You should. Shit, this has been going on for, a good minute now. I don't think in this article it mentions them having, fellow states coming to help, but that's what's happening, man. Neighboring states are even helping, and this is only the beginning of what's to come, which is all out chaos and hell breaking loose on these streets, right? This is Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And that's exactly what's being done through, you're starting off with policies these separate, these states don't agree with. A lot of these states don't want immigration. And if you look at it, you could point to the whole abortion practices, right? A lot of these states double down, on the abortion practices. Then the guns came. A lot of these states double down on the gun laws, and now it's the immigration. So they have a lot of different points of conflict, right? And it's accumulating to something. It's building up to something, right? And guess what? This ain't it, right? It's about to get a whole lot more crazy, okay? The more these different things go on, the more things are gonna become, it's gonna spiral more and more, man. All this doing when? Election year? It's only January. So just imagine, what this place would be like in November, right? The division that'll be here in November. You got certain states taking Trump off the ballot, right? The way it's looking, it might not even be an election. And if it is, the legitimacy of it is going to be questioned immediately, So this place is just spiraling out of control, okay? And along with it, it has a border crisis, right? This is the time to strike, if you are one of the enemies of America. This is Matthew 10:34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And that's exactly what we're saying, that sword being furbished and sharpened, Shall we then make mirth? No. If you, honestly, you should have some healthy level of fear when it comes to what's being done here, man, because we're getting closer to the Lord making his return, okay? We encourage this, man. We love it. Love hearing about it, because anything is better than what we getting now, man. The more this place deteriorates, the more we, ascend, right? So we looking at it and we raise it to the foundations thereof. That's the spirit we in, okay? For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, right? Because these families are going to be divided. A lot of these different, National Guard members, they got different opinions. And they cousin, they uncle might be a federal agent having to enforce these different, enforce these different policies, regardless of how the states feel. So that's going to be a direct conflict, man. Families going to split over this, man. Because Jim Bob is a National Guardsman, but, but Uncle Rick, he worked for the FBI, right? Uncle Rick put Jim Bob on. But now here it is, they got this division being stoked, right? With their different professions are going to contradict, man. You ain't invited to Thanksgiving or Easter this year, man, because you keep trying to come and, trying to take away our sovereignty. Can't say that word for nothing, man. You trying to get rid of the razor wire from off the border, and this state needs a good border to keep these illegals out, right? So you can't come to Easter this year, man. You ain't invited to the barbecue unless you stand up against your superiors, and vice versa, right? Just like during, the pandemic. Or you ain't wearing a mask, but you wearing a mask. You ain't got the vax. Oh, you got it though. So stay away from me. You got mRNA, in you. Well, you don't. So stay away from me. And so these divisions have been looming for a long time, man. They've always been there, but more is being brought to it now, man. And eventually you're gonna hit that point. They say the straw that broke the camel broke the camel back, the snowflake to spark the avalanche, right? We're getting closer to it, man. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household, even your own state, even your own city, man. Because best believe it's people in Texas who want these illegals to come, man. There's Democrats everywhere. There's Democrats and Republicans living amongst each other everywhere, man. And even within that, you got factions, man. It's so divided, right? This is gonna be the Royal Rumble, Neighborhoods against neighborhoods, man. Counties against counties, okay? Because even in some of these predominantly blue states, you got a lot of red counties, right? So don't be surprised if you start seeing divisions even upon a local level. In LA, you got LA County, you got Orange County. Orange County is one of the reddest states in the state. But then it's right next to LA County, which is one of the bluest state, or a very blue county in the state of California. What do you think that's going to lead to? Right? Especially with these different tensions being built up. Things are escalating. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what's going on literally right now. The National Guard is blocking the way to the border with what? Armored vehicles and riflemen. And they're stopping other riflemen in armored vehicles to be able to go and do what they've been instructed to do. We here, man. If it continues to build, you might hear of firefights, man. And who knows what's going down right now, man. Even if it was, they ain't gonna report it off rip. Not until it got to a point where they have to, right? A lot of eyes are on America because it's in a state of uncertainty. It's unstable, man. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See? And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because these cities are going to be cut off, man. This is the new state country of Texas, united with the Texas allies, and vice versa. This county has declared itself a part of such and such. This is an autonomous zone, right? We had an example of that in Seattle, so it shows it is possible, and it is gonna happen, right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The men, for because of their pride, cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, all these different nations or all these different states, at this point, they're like, hey, what about us, man? Pride and pride oozes through the veins of America, man. All these different states are proud of something, They all have their different things that they like, for example, Texas is the Lone Star State, right? California is They got the Golden Bear, the Gold Rush. They all got their different points in history in which they take pride in, right? State like Alabama, the Heart of Dixie. They all got they different traditions, right? Practices in which if they're encroached upon, you're gonna receive backlash, man. Okay? And at the end of the day, these egos are gonna get in the way from unification. People in America still got this dream that, oh, we're gonna all come together. It won't get that far because the American people know that we can't do this alone. And no, that's not reality, man. In the end, it's gonna be, it's gonna be the opposite. Okay, this place is about to go up in flames. This is Revelations 18-21. A mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, "Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." And this place is gonna move from one thing to another, man. It's gonna be a civil war to a world war, right? And it's only gonna get more and more violent as things continue to move in that direction, man. Okay, don't be surprised if you were to hear of a border conflict between state law enforcement and federal law enforcement, right? Because that's what it's coming to. And with thunder of all praise and the glory to Yahweh, Shema, Shah, Shem, Brakakwadash, Wa, Abba, Babal, and DTA.